Hey guys, it's Zhang. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we are in a new kitchen. This is a temporary kitchen just for a month, but I thought I'd show you guys what some of my minimal kitchen essentials are for the space. So when I was packing up to move, I had to fit everything for work into that plastic bin right there. And so I really had to think long and hard about what I really needed. So I'm gonna start off with some kitchen utensils and cutlery. I grabbed this block. This one is by Material Kitchen and it has almost everything that I need. It also has a magnetic side right here so I can store all of my knives, and believe it or not, it's so compact that I just stuck the whole thing, wrapped it up, and stuck it into the bin. But let me show you what it comes with. So it comes with a spatula, a wooden spoon, so I use this on my non-stick and Le Creuset. That way it doesn't scratch my stuff. It has this like spider, a slotted spoon so I can scoop out pasta or like vegetables, whatever I'm boiling. This metal spoon, I actually haven't really used this metal spoon that much just because I don't want to scratch up my utensils. So unless I'm using like a wok, I hardly ever use this. Tongs, I'll go into the tongs next. A whisk, and then it comes with these 3 knives. I have a little paring knife for cutting fruits, serrated knife for tomatoes, bread, and then our everyday chef's knife. It just feels really good to cut with this knife. It's just like the perfect balance in your hand. And that's pretty much all of the tools that I ever really need in the kitchen, although I did bring a few other things. So for the tongs, because I want to make sure that I don't ruin the surface of like my non-stick pan or my Le Creuset, I try to use silicone tongs as often as possible. And one thing that this did not come with, but I found on Amazon for a really great deal, it was a trio of scissors. You wouldn't believe this, but I kind of really, ever since having kids, I cut everything with scissors. Like meats, pastas, noodles for the kids. I don't know, this is just like a really big kitchen essential. But I found a trio on Amazon for like $11, and this one, it's serrated right here, so it cuts through really well. And I'm really happy with this. This part right here is silicone. Everything that I show you guys today, I'm gonna link it in the description box below. So if you're looking for stuff for your new kitchen or just revamping your kitchen essentials, you guys know where to find them. Okay, so let's move these aside. We got our tools. I do have a few other tools that I wanna show you guys too. I also brought this mini tongs just for, I don't know, for breakfast and stuff. The kids, this is easy to get the kids food, but this is not an essential if you have room for it. It's really handy, but definitely not an essential. What are essentials to me are these right here. So I bake and measure things quite often. So I had to bring my measuring cups and spoons. I actually already used one, so it's in the dishwasher, but this one by Quizzipro has been with me for a long time. It's just really durable, and I just like the shape of it because it's oval like this. I can dip it into like jars or whatever to measure it out. And then the matching measuring spoons, which are really nice too. I love the shape. Sometimes when I use the circular ones, like I can't dip it into the jars very well. So I just love that they thought about the shapes of this to make it easier for us. One other thing that I ended up buying from Amazon before we left the old house was this guy right here. So instead of having to bring like a measuring cup and our lemon juicer, which you guys know I use quite often in my videos, I found this little guy where it doubles as a lemon juicer right here on top. And if I don't want to use it, I can always use it as a liquid measurement thing. So I always measure when I make our dressings, like sauces for my stir fries, stuff like that. So having something like this to measure liquid is so key. And I love that it's not super big. It measures up to 1/3 of a cup. Unless I'm baking, which this house that we're renting, they already have a lot of the essential like big Pyrex measuring cup, so I didn't have to get that. But this right here, not everyone has, and I think it's so handy and so key if you cook a lot and you make your own sauces a lot. So there's that. And then one thing I forgot to pack was my box grater, but it was actually like a happy accident because then I found this. It's a box, well, it's not really a box. It's a stand grater. So I grate a lot of carrots and cheese for the kids. So there's a big grate right here. On the other side of it is a smaller grater, but you know what this smaller grater is great for? It's good for zesting lemons or even grating little like ginger pieces. I've already used this so many times. I've grated less. We've been here less than a week and I've already used this side like so many times. And I love it because it's so sharp. I used to have the microplane graters, and I would say that this brand by OXO, the grate is a lot sharper. I noticed that it's also a little bit bigger than the microplane, but I just feel like I get a better grate and it just feels a lot better on the hand when I grate things. It's just very smooth. It just like glides through. So I highly recommend this one. One more thing I do want to say about this guy is because I did not bring my food processor. I would say a food processor is a kitchen essential, but it didn't fit in my box. So this took the place of like grating onions and just like pulverizing things that I normally would have used in a food processor that's not liquid. Like if you were making a sauce, luckily the house here already came with a blender. I checked before I packed. It had a blender, so I didn't bring it. But this is really useful as a food processor substitute. Now let's get into the bigger items like cutting boards and baking sheets and all that good stuff. For me, I opted to bring my own cutting board just because I wasn't sure what they had here. And sure enough, when I got here, it was just like those plastic ones, which I'm definitely not a fan of. So I ended up buying these at Crate & Barrel, and it's actually a really good deal because right now, if you buy this large board, it also has grooves here for like meat cutting. If you buy this large board, typically this is around like $50, but this whole set all together with a smaller cutting board is $50. It's such a good deal. It was like a buy one, get this as a free gift type thing. So I really like this. It's made with like recycled fibers, but it just feels really good with the knife. When I worked at Sur La Table as a kitchen assistant, they only used booze and this Epicurean cutting board because they said that it's better for your knives. And even though like this was brand new, and even though you still see the knife like indentation, it's totally fine. I'm not too worried about it. But it's just a really nice board. I don't know how long the sale is gonna go for, but if you are in the market for new cutting boards, I highly, highly, highly recommend these. Okay, now let's move on to the baking pan. You guys know I bake, and I plan on making some cookies and some baked goods for you guys in the videos while I'm here. So I had to bring some essentials. Obviously the owner here also had some baking like pans and stuff too, but these are definitely kitchen essentials. An icing rack. This can be used to bake up anything from chicken fingers to like, I don't know. This is just so useful to cool down your baked goods. And I use it for a multitude of things, but a baking sheet, as you guys know, is great for roasting, baking, just doing anything you need to in an oven. I actually plan on making something really fun in this as well. Like you can use this for a lot of really fun things, like a cheese board, for example. I did also bring my own oven mitts. These are silicone. I used to have those just regular fabric ones, like the quilted ones, and every time I used them, my hands would just burn. They wore out after a while, and it was just so hot. I had to find a different one, and this one fits my hand perfectly. I love that it's also pink, and then there are these grooves that protects you extra from the heat, and it's silicone, so highly recommend these. They come in like so many different colors. We had a blue one that Nate uses because it's like really big and it fits his hands really well. Now moving on to some more baking tools. Technically, this isn't really like a baking tool. I just use it for a lot of various different things, but it's a nesting type of, oh, that looks so good. But it's like a nesting bowl. So it comes in a set of 8. I have a really large one, and this would be great for like serving salads or using as like the big mixing bowl. But it just,
how many there are total?
There's 8 in total, and I love the color scheme. I kind of do wish that these fell more within like the warm tones because it doesn't really match these, but I love the smaller ones in here that are like pink and neutral and warm. But overall, it's really great. This one is made from bamboo. It's a little bit lighter than I had expected, but it's definitely better than those plastic ones. Whether it holds up, that is to be seen. I'm just worried that if I end up like baking and using my hand mixer, it's gonna scratch it up, but you guys will see if that happens when I bake something good for you. Speaking of which, all right, so the reason why I had to buy so many new things was because we had movers help pack, and I asked them not to pack up my kitchen, but they were really super helpful and they ended up packing everything, so I didn't get a chance to pull my kitchen essentials yet, so I had to re-get things. But this was another happy accident, and I found like the deal of a century because guess how much I got this mixer for? You guys, I got it for $14. $14. This is by Cuisinart. It's a hand mixer. There's only 3 speeds, but I have to tell you that I already love it more than my KitchenAid hand mixer that I normally use on the channel, the pink one. This one is just so much more powerful. The other one is a 5-speed, and I never felt like it was quite powerful enough. So let me demo this for you and just show you. Okay, here is the lowest speed. So that was as high as the KitchenAid ever got, like this. But check this out. Incredible. Like absolutely incredible. Like this was a good find. All right, now let's get into the pots and pans. So 2 out of these 3 are my favorite, and one of them I'll go into why I brought it. Okay, so I've told you guys before, I'm a huge fan of cast iron pans. This cast iron pan by Lodge is like $10 at Target, and I use it for everything from searing salmon to scrambling eggs in the morning. It is my workhorse, and I like the size of it. It's like an 8-inch. I love the size of it because it's tiny and I can do so many things in here without it having to take up too many space. I have a video if you guys want to learn how to season your cast iron pan so that scrambling eggs doesn't stick to it. I'll leave it in the link in the description box below. But pretty much use this for everything. Next up is this all-clad, it's like a 3-layer stainless steel pot. We use this a lot for making oatmeals, boiling pasta, making rice. I don't really use a rice cooker, so I make all of our rice and boil like noodles and stuff like that in this pan. And I ended up bringing my Le Creuset lid because I like the steam vent. This came with its own like stainless steel lid, but I tend to like this one better, and I like seeing what I'm cooking and like the progress that it's making. Now this guy, let me just say, if my Le Creusets were not so heavy and I didn't care about it, like I would have brought it instead. However, this one, you guys know they market, this is the Always pan by our place. You know they market it as like an 8-in-1 or like you can do it all type of pan, and I had a green one. I gave it to my sister. I wasn't super impressed with it, and I have to say I still don't really love it, but if you like ceramic pans, this is for you. The reason why I don't love it is because you have to use like moderate heat on it, and for me to like saute things, I really like it cranked up on high heat. So I've been trying to use this on just medium heat, and it doesn't give me quite the same sear, but I will go into the pros of it, because it's not a bad pot by any means, just how I cook things, it's not the best pan for me. But I do love the shape a lot. So if I'm making pasta or just like a really big one pot meal for the family, I would use this. I also really like that it comes with this steamer here that I double as a colander. So I've like boiled stuff in here and then poured it into this. So I do love that it comes with like a little bit of an extra piece that I could use for something else. In terms of the pan itself, it's ceramic, it's non-stick, it has a non-stick coating, but you have to be really careful with it. Like I said, you can't put it on super high heat, otherwise you lose that non-stickiness. So many people have said like after a month, the pan just doesn't stick. Everything sticks to it, but you gotta kind of just use low heat on it, and you don't get quite the same sear as you would with this, which is why I still cook my eggs in here, and I just use this to do like soft stuff. But I was lucky enough that when I arrived at this house, the rental, she had, this is a Le Creuset, and I have to say, as a kitchen essential video, I would say a Le Creuset or a stove, a big Dutch oven, cast iron pot is absolutely essential, because I have used this for so many things already. And yeah, it's easy to clean. People don't like buying these because they're like, oh, it's so hard to clean. It always gets dirty at the bottom, but a little bit of barkeeper's friend or bon ami or baking soda with vinegar and it comes right off. But why I love this is because it just holds the heat a lot better. You can make soups and stews, especially for the fall season. You can definitely make it in here, but like this just cooks so much better. So that's my spiel on pots and pans. I know a lot of people on Instagram and YouTube have this pan. Like I said, it's not the best. The paint's already coming off, but as a pan, I don't really care about like banging around or getting messed up. It's fine. I just know that it's not going to have the longevity of something like this or these. All right, and now the last kitchen essential that I was really hoping would fit in our car. You guys, it was like a clown car. I had to give up my front seats just so that I could bring this with me. The Instant Pot. Like, as a mom, this is a complete lifesaver. I have already cooked how many meals in here? I've already cooked a meal in here. I made butter chicken in here the other day, but it just cooks things up so fast. This is the Instant Pot Pro, and it's a newer model. I love that it has this handle, the silicone handle that you can lift out. The older models don't have that, so this has just like been a game changer. Plus the interface is a lot nicer as well. But yeah, I've been using this. I use this at least once or twice a week, so I had to make room for it on those days where the kids are like, I'm so hungry, and I don't have time to cook up like a full-on meal or soup. I just throw in some chicken, some sauce, some vegetables, turn it on, and dinner is ready within like 15 minutes. So yes, this is an absolute kitchen essential, which I also think is really great for college kids too, if they allow you guys to have these. But so those were all of my minimalist kitchen essentials. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found some of the tool recommendations useful. And if you guys wanted to stay updated with what's going on in our life, don't forget to follow my second channel, which is called Wild Honeysuckle, where we vlog about why we moved, our house renovation progress, and other fun things. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Honeysuckle. Bye guys.